Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook.
Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook. Oh, okay.
Yes, I love it.
You know,
And we are here for what?
Season 3. Season 3.
I'm so excited. Yeah, 3. 3. We on the.
That's right.
Yeah,
On the
no.
third season.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. Season
Not
2
Roman
was
from the fifth floor.
Season 2 was awesome.
Season 2 was awesome.
Yeah. So,
You guys are awesome.
you know, we
And
went
y'all
for
hanging in there.
I'm glad you recognize that, and we really appreciate you for saying so.
Yes, y'all are hanging in there.
So what we got today?
So today, to kick off season 3,
Right.
y'all like that? Kick off?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's football season.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this whole buzz of Jay-Z, Kaepernick,
Yes. Okay.
the NFL,
Right.
and the boycott.
Right.
So that's what I want to talk about today. So
Are you still taking the knee, Jay?
Nah, my knees hurt too bad. I can't get up sometimes. Yeah, he's doing a number on my
It's
body.
hurting you, right?
So I know sometimes, guys be like, what girls know. So disclaimer, I grew up with a football coach.
Right.
So I know football.
Right.
So in a moment, right now we're going to take a break
Okay.
and then we're going to get into all this football.
Oh, let it marinate.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
marinate. Okay.
Yeah, just let it marinate for a minute.
All right.
And we're going to commercial break.
Perfect.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. But I don't wanna get up. Very sad, no more love. All that I could do was remember you. You know I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Kitchen talk, conversations that cook.
Kitchen Talk, CTC, Conversations That Cook, Season 3, Jay-Z.
I agree
Thoughts?
with him
Okay?
already. It's a lot of craziness.
Now, what are you agreeing with?
I agree with the point that we need to start the action.
Okay.
I love the fact that Kaepernick brought up and really brought attention to us on a national scale. What's going on?
Okay.
And, a lot of people took a part of it. They, got on their knees. Some sat down. Whatever it is, they did their protest.
Okay.
And the protest was important. But what we need to do is get past the protest. And I think that's what Jay's trying to do. It's no different from what we have done in the past
Okay.
with Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Okay, you do the protest. We do the walk, we do the bus. But then what do you do afterwards? How do you move from protest to politics?
Right.
From protest to process?
Okay.
And that's what I'm liking currently with Jay-Z and the people that are behind him. At some point, you got to sit at the table so that you figure out, what's next. If we keep sitting down and keep taking the knee,
Yeah.
what's
Where's
already
the
there?
action?
Where's the action? We're just
Okay.
going to do it another year.
So it's been, is it 2 years
It's
or 3 years?
2
I was
years.
gonna say 3.
It's 3? Yeah, come on. We got to do better.
Mhm.
Okay, now that there is some type of awareness in place,
Mm-hmm.
okay, both sides understand that there's a problem,
Mhm.
you got to fix the problem. And that's
Do
the
both
first
sides
step.
understand there's a problem?
Well,
Really?
both sides know that there's a problem because the problem has now been brought to the table. Doesn't mean that you might agree that it's still a problem, but
Okay.
again, the
So I'm
problem
thinking
is
about something that you mentioned earlier
okay.
about communication.
Oh, no.
And so the person with the problem has a
Right.
problem, but
That's
that
right.
doesn't necessarily mean that the person on the other side knows or recognizes there's a problem.
Well, that's where
That's
the
what I'm saying.
protest
Do
came.
they know?
They do
that,
know.
Do both sides know that
Both
there's
sides
a
know,
problem?
and that's why the protest was important. Because this protest that Kaepernick brought up is not a new protest. This is not something that just
True.
happened overnight.
True.
But the other side didn't know it, or they just said, "Oh, we're gonna put a blind eye to it." Now that the protest is in place,
Go ahead, JT.
I think they knew. They knew.
yeah, I mean, I'm saying they knew, but they put a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about it because it's not affecting
It's
my
not
bottom
my
dollar.
problem.
It's not my problem. But then
And
when
so
I
that's
show
what I'm
you,
saying. Is there a problem? If it's not my problem, is it a problem?
It is a problem.
Oh.
It is a problem
It is a
because
problem.
now it is your problem because it started affecting your bottom line. It started affecting your viewership. It started to affect the people who are actually a part of the process. So now it is your problem. And we can't just keep taking a knee and sitting down until we rectify the problem. Now, they can do it another year, another 10 years, another 5 years, but will we get any closer to the goal? And the goal is to be better, be greater.
So you're thinking Jay-Z is bringing solution?
Oh yeah, I agree. Now, a part of that solution is, of course, him getting a profit, which is what I think a lot of people are mad at. But again, we're in a capitalistic society,
We are.
and one of the things that
And Jay-Z is about the money.
and he should be, but again, he's also about the give back. So a lot of people don't know that he gives back a lot of the money that he gains too, and he opens doors and opportunity for people who may not have that opportunity before. So it's not like, oh, I just got all the profit for myself. No, I'm creating opportunities for people to make a profit. So that's the other side of the coin that we don't see.
Okay. Thoughts on Jay-Z?
The thing about okay. It's so many different stories out there. Yes, I like what Jay-Z is doing. I'm glad Jay-Z is bringing some things to the forefront and letting everybody know this is what's going on. There is a problem. But I also believe that Jay-Z is trying to make a move to become an owner. If not an owner, at least part owner.
I'm for it. I'm
Yeah.
for it. I'm for it because we don't have it. We don't have one.
Not
right now.
one.
So why not use this opportunity to become not only
Okay.
just the first one, but hopefully opening doors for others to become one. Jackie Robinson.
Okay, so hold on. Y'all gotta.
Hey.
I know. Hey, we in season 3, we're doing things new, so
It's
y'all
hot.
will be right
It's hot
back.
already.
Don't let me show evil, though it might be all I take. Show me love, show me love, show me love.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. That ain't no one to get on. It's very sad, no more love. All that I can do was remember you. You know I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
Kitchen talk, conversations that cook.
Okay, so y'all sound like big Jay-Z fans here.
No, my biggest thing is not the Jay-Z component. My biggest thing is the progressive movement or the
Okay.
progressive process
Okay.
component. I was about to say with Jackie Robinson, he got into the league, right? A lot of headache, a lot of controversy, but he had to go through that on both sides of the coin in order for others to come in. It's the same thing going back to how we have politics today. You might not like the politician, but guess what? He might be opening the doors for others to
somebody
come in.
else.
So
Okay.
MLK is a good example of that in the civil rights movement. Yeah, we could have, marched for months. We could have marched for years. They could have not taken the bus at all. But he said, no, we're going to do this. And then there's a purpose behind it. So what's the plan?
So now, let's go to Kaepernick.
Now,
So still not playing, right?
but- yeah, but it's not because of him. It is because of him, not because
So
of
now
me.
he doesn't want to play, or he still wants to play.
I still believe, man. I mean, even look at the players that get up in the retirement age. They don't want to quit,
No.
but they have to, because at a lot of times their bodies start to break
Kaepernick
down.
not in
No.
that race?
What
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying
Oh,
is
sorry.
that fire still burns there. I know that he really wants to play.
He does, but I think he's kicking himself in the foot too. I think he's where we were just talking about. He's still in the process and haven't moved on through the progress. So there's 4 teams that wanted him to play, but because of what he was, how he was acting, his approach to the meetings that he had with the different organizations, they decided not to take him. So again, if I'm a
Was that really it?
oh,
or
yeah.
was it just a mandate that you're not gonna put him on the team?
No. He interviewed and
Was
went
it
to.
an undercurrent?
No, there were 4 teams that wanted him.
Okay.
One team in particular, he kind of really kicked himself in the foot when he said something about the team owner and one of the key players, referring them to Django. You know, and that kind of, you trying to get the job, you know what I mean? Again,
But at
we
what
have to.
cost?
And
Which
that's what I'm
probably could be a
saying.
whole
It's
nother
a cost.
conversation.
The
At what
problem is,
cost?
what do you do after
So
the
y'all
protest?
don't even see Jay-Z as a little bit of a sellout?
No,
No?
and that's the problem we have as a community. Because I progressively move forward, I'm a sellout. No, at some point I gotta get on the bus. I gotta get on the bus.
Okay, so
And make
here's
it
here
happen.
and when I say at what cost, okay, so you have Jay-Z at one time really gung-ho and supporting Kaepernick, right?
I agree.
And so now he has has he cut the tie?
No.
And now he wants to progress?
I don't think he has.
Okay.
I think that progression is happening
Because
because it's going to
Kaepernick's still
open the
not
door
working.
for not just Kaepernick, but other players like Kaepernick.
But
Imagine
is that
Jay-Z as the
changing?
owner of the team, and something
Y'all
like this
really-
part of.
Yeah.
You know, he can have a voice at the table. When this whole thing started, there was no voice at the table.
Is he gonna get that kind of power though?
Well, again, it
Yeah,
starts
hey.
somewhere.
It starts somewhere, but
It
that
starts
good old boy
somewhere.
network is something else.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is
he will be the only one at that table that looks like us.
Yeah.
But
And
again-
what I see is, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you fine. You fine.
So what I see is, it's like, I'm gonna appease you. We gonna let y'all think, you know,
That you in
that
there.
you in.
Nah, I disagree. I
Okay.
disagree. This is one time in the week in the United States where there is a united front, where you can see people of all colors sitting in one building and not arguing with each other, just having a good time. They don't want to mess up that bottom dollar. So now
It's about the dollar for them. They don't care
it's
about
about.
the people.
I agree, and that's what it should be for the whole process. The Montgomery
Okay.
bus march was about the dollar. They knew that if I mess up your dollar, I can take this thing over. And at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for progress. You remember? Working on
You
greater.
working on greater.
We're working on
You working on
greater.
greater, and I'm gonna work on greater, and we gotta take another break. I'm just saying.
You gotta say something.
We'll be right back.
Unless Jay-Z gonna take it. You
Yo,
know?
I ain't paying nothing, I'm just saying.
If you're throwing love off, we'll some more.
Kitchen talk, conversations that hurt. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that
All right. This is really heated and
Oh
really
man,
good.
you got me fired up
So we-
already.
I
It's
know.
the first show.
So we
First
Jay-
season 3.
We got to come out the gate like that, man. You know, because this is what we do.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. So Jay-Z, so Kaepernick.
right,
So NFL,
right.
really do y'all see any of that changing? And the reason I say this because if you paying people millions of dollars,
Uh-huh.
how much money are you making?
Billions.
Right.
Jerry Jones.
So you gonna let somebody come and stir that pot?
Got a point.
Again,
Yeah,
that
point.
pot has been stirred through protests. That's how that pot was already mixed up and all put together. If they did not have the protests, this thing would have been there. A Sunday, church day,
Yeah.
you know, people just enjoying them making their money. This brought up the problem that we have.
It did.
And because of this problem, we have now an opportunity to make the organization better, make our country better, and make this thing where everybody's a win-win situation.
But things could have also changed if those players, especially us, knew that we had the power. They had the power. If they go out, one owner, Jerry Jones, said of the Dallas Cowboys said that if anybody protests, they will not be playing. Well, I tell you what, you care about your money, I am your star running back. That's your star running back is black, your quarterback is black. If we walk out, if we go out here and we protest,
True.
we protest, we take a knee. Are you gonna cut me? Probably not. I dare. And
True.
if I was all the black players, all of I would.
So
we
the
coulda-
united front.
A united front.
We did not necessarily.
And I want to see you cut me.
And
I want you to
so
try
is that
me.
about the money for them?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be because you messing up his money. He knows.
Well,
Nobody. Not to interrupt,
Yeah.
but ain't nobody tuning in to watch a bunch of white boys run no ball because they can't do it like we do it.
Oh, big cut. Big cut.
Let's just be honest. We make this sport.
Right.
We made boxing.
Right.
We make track. We make everything.
Just all like
Well,
everything.
here it is. I feel you, my brother.
Come.
But in America, but the America that we live in,
Right.
it takes a united front.
Right.
Going back to the Jackie Robinson point, yeah, he was the greatest, but he knew he needed people to help him. It's not a one-sided thing, which is
Right.
why I agree with the Jay-Z side, which is why I agree with the MLK side. A lot of people didn't agree with
trying
Martin
to
Luther
unite,
King
it
who went to
comes to
see
the
the
table
president.
together.
Right.
Trying to come to
You
the
gotta
table.
come together. Again, we have to say, where do we go from here? We can't just continue to take a knee, continue to fight and say, oh, it's all about us. No, somebody's in the background helping us get to that point.
Yeah.
And we're also helping them to
Yeah.
get to that point.
I mean, they
So
felt
it's
it
a-
this last Super Bowl
Oh, they
because
felt it for them. Oh,
their
yeah.
numbers was down.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So it takes a united front again.
On the top.
It's it's the worst part is because it's to me this is not about this NFL. You know, this is a national issue.
I mean,
And
it's
the person who bought it the worst.
you finding the racism.
Yes.
That is really the root of the
Yes.
problem.
How do we get past it? And that's why I like what he's doing. The person who is adding more fuel to this fire is 45. I don't like to, call out the president's name because he's
Does
not
he
my
have a name?
president. What's his name?
I
forgot
forgot.
his name. Oh, man.
Agent Orange.
But anyways, my thing with number
Y'all
45 is
Y'all is.
you are perpetuating the problem
Yeah.
instead of figuring out how can we deal with
Yeah.
the problem. We know what the problem is. And the problem has been brought to the surface where you can't, even if you try to
But how
close
long?
and hide it, it's so clear that you can't say, I don't know. Just going back to that conversation. It's so clear. They took the knee, they sat down, everybody had an opinion about it, but now we have an opportunity to say, how can we fix this and make it a greater place? Because it's not great, but we can make it greater.
Okay, so here's something very interesting that you just said. So we know what the problem is.
Right?
He got a solution. It's not the one that we want.
Who is that?
45. His solution is go
Yeah,
back where you came
yeah,
from.
Right.
Yeah,
Again,
we've never been there.
So,
nah.
but we talking about how people see the problem
And that's why
and what their solutions are
That's
to the
why I
problem.
like what the NFL and Jay-Z have done. They come together and say, how can we fix this problem in a united front? Versus just saying, oh, I have the solution, and this is what it's gonna be, and take a really a leadership stance that is way out of date. You're gonna do what I say and just fall along with it. No, we're gonna come to the table. We're gonna talk about how we can plan push this thing so that we can take this thing to the next level.
But isn't it kind of crazy that Kaepernick's original protest was about the police violence, had nothing to do with football. Nothing to do with what was going on the field, but now it's a whole big old thing. Are we taking the attention away because now we focused on what's going on with the football, with the NFL? Are we taking the attention away from the real issue?
Right. Which is why I was saying again, it is how do we move forward?
Not just on the football?
Not just on the football field, but as well as in our communities.
Okay.
How can we sit down with our local police, with our local politicians and our government officials? It's okay. We know what the problem is. Let's come together at the table.
Are you seeing that in this though?
I am, because again, this is something that has been shown, as I stated with MLK and the Civil Rights Movement. They literally did that. You would not have politicians today, black politicians today, without what these people did. Sitting at a counter where they were told you can't.
I gotta cut you off because you just.
You know I'm going to
You rolling.
All day. So we gotta take another break and we'll be out.
Pay them bills.
I love it.
Kitchen Talk, Lisa Loveray, JT and friends. Kitchen Talk, conversations.
So we are heated in here in Kitchen Talk CTC. Frantz is just
it's
like
right.
all in there.
It's this guy over here.
Yeah,
This guy over here.
So when we thinking about it, so we touched on Jay-Z a little bit.
Right.
I'm still kind of on the fence. And then Kaepernick, I'm like, okay,
You
can we?
right now.
I'm actually not neither.
Okay.
I really honestly think it's a distraction.
Well,
Because we're talking about,
Listen, all sports is a distraction.
and I guess I feel that way because as an educator,
Right.
can I get $1 million to teach some children?
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
this
so
is a
all
distraction.
to me it's a distraction.
All of it is
Whatever
distraction.
Jay-Z doing, whatever Kaepernick doing, whatever the NFL doing.
Right.
Here's my other question: are we still boycotting? Are y'all watching? Did you ever
No,
boycott?
I think the boycott.
Yeah, I did.
I think.
Did you?
I did. I didn't watch
Nothing
none of
last
it.
season?
No. Unless I was at a restaurant or something
And it was on.
Yeah.
And besides, my team sucked anyway. I really.
That's
So
my
the
team is
boycott was
always
easy
a
for
fight.
you,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. No.
So we not boycotting, or we are boycotting. I never really got a full, because if you look at social media, some people still talking about the games last season.
Right.
Some people were, no, I'm not watching.
Right.
So even in that, it was still no
And
united
that's why
front.
you have to have the progressive movement.
And
What
so
do you do
Jay-Z
next?
is the progressive movement in your mind.
In my mind, not just him. Again, there's so many people. He's just the front guy. He's just the guy. But I know there's so many people that are involved in this that are really trying to open up the doors for so many other people who have my skin complexion. Let's get that straight. And I think that's important for us to remember because, again, it's not about the NFL. It's about what happens outside of the NFL. So, yeah, we know that this is an issue. How can we change it in our own communities? Because it's going to change their pockets at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get something.
Yeah.
But how is it going to change where I
That's
live
my
and
point.
where you live?
That's
You know
my
what I
point.
mean?
Is what is this protest? What is this doing to keep cops from shooting unarmed people?
Right.
To keep children from being killed? To even have something to do with the gun laws?
So I think
What does this NFL and the boycott and the Kaepernick and the Jay-Z's have to do with that?
I think what it does is it opens the doors for that type of conversation again.
Okay.
Outside of that, and then people who saw the issue or knew that there was an issue and put a blind eye to it are now really starting to see it, and hopefully seeing that this is going to increase our bottom line. Our dollars are getting better, so you know what? We need to make a conscious effort and have a real conversation of what's happening to the people who come to patronize us. So at the end of the day, if we don't go to
kind of bring out
patronize,
some true colors of
It did,
owners.
but-
It did.
Oh, yeah.
And how they
I mean,
view
Yeah. It was
the
a
black
few of
folks
them.
that's
Oh, yeah.
running
It
up and down the
A few
field.
of them that came
yeah.
out and it was like, look
Okay.
here, boy.
Yeah.
You gonna go out here and run this football,
Right.
whether you like it or not. And I mean, it's a lot of people.
Again, 45 called everybody SOB.
Yeah.
Who does that? You the leader of the free world.
Right.
And you calling,
Oh my God.
you calling your own people. I mean, again, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But it's still that deep. It's not about the NFL. It's not about the continuous protests. It's about what do we do next. And if we don't get to the what do we do next, we'll stay in that same state for, forever. Everybody is going to be that side. Are we protesting? Are we not protesting? I don't know.
So protest was easy for me. I grew up with a football coach, so once I ain't have to watch it no more, I was good.
You was good.
I just really hope that people can see it.
Beyond the football?
Yeah, beyond the football. But I just really want them to. It's not about the flag. People kept saying he's disrespecting the flag.
Right.
It's not about the flag.
Right.
We need you to see what this man is talking about.
Yeah.
Why people are protesting.
Yeah.
So that I just hope that everybody can really open their eyes.
Yeah. So seeing it in, like, I like to say I see theater in everything.
Right.
So even in this, we can pull out a message.
Oh, yeah.
So you protesting about this, even though we're talking about the football.
Right.
And then we still uncover how people are still being treated or viewed as substandard.
That's correct.
But you can run a football, so you do what I say.
Right.
And it goes back to how we're viewed in this society. So yeah, I get it. So I do think a little bit of distraction, but I do think it brings light and awareness. So okay.
I mean, we have to bring the light and awareness.
Okay.
Because if we don't do, again, the protest, if we don't bring to light the problem, then we're not going to get to the solution. Because, I see it, but it's not a problem for me.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about it.
Right. So I can still watch a game. Don't do nothing.
Once I'm affected, and once you're affected, okay, now we got to do something.
Yeah.
But the question to
But
this day is, what do we do next?
What do we do next? But how does it affect me? That's the other question.
Well, the football is not the real protest.
Right,
Again,
right.
It's what's happening to our people in the streets.
Right.
That's how it's affecting you. That's how it's affecting all of us. And that's what this whole thing started on. How do we make America a better place for all its citizens?
Kitchen talk. Conversations that good. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk. Conversations that good. Kitchen talk. Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk. Conversations that good. Kitchen talk. Conversations that good. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk. Conversations that good. Kitchen talk. Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on,
Kitchen talk.
let's talk.